Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Free Talk. I have the amazing, incredible Seneca Dunmore. She is our funding coach. And if you know, like I know, you have tuned in at the right time. Seneca, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you again, Free. So happy to be back.
Oh, I'm excited for the people that get to receive this valuable information.
Yes.
And it's so unfortunate that there are some individuals who are going to hear this and ignore it. And that is such an injustice to them, for them as well as for their families. Um, I want to dive in today in a post that you made on LinkedIn, which turned into a 3-day summit because you found such an overwhelming response for 3,000 Black females who had been laid off or furloughed or whatever it was that they were going through. Companies folded because of the economy and things. And now they're out looking for employment, but some of them they had no safety net.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah. So it was literally a Friday night, Free. And
Mm,
I just decided to kind of give my 2 cents. I remember seeing an article about the 300,000 Black women who had been fired and furloughed from their
yeah.
jobs. Many of them were in government, many of them were corporate and C-level executives. These were women with dual degrees.
Yes, come on.
Right? The cream of the crop. And so these were women who were let go from their jobs and now they find themselves, going from these high six-figure salaries to
Yes, or
nothing,
beyond. Or
right?
beyond. Some of
Or
them was beyond
beyond.
6 figures. Yes.
Absolutely. And so I literally woke up the next morning. That post, throughout the week had been shared over 169 times. I mean,
Wow.
I had tons. I mean, my DM was flooded with messages, lots of
Mm,
engagement. And there were so many women who expressed, Seneca, thank you for writing this post. I feel
yes.
seen. I feel heard. I feel validated. I feel like someone understands me. And so I
Excellent.
literally created a link in my Calendly and I went through that post, thanked everybody for engaging, responded to everybody who commented. And I started sending all these women DMs saying, hey, listen, thank you for the engagement and how can I help?
Mhm.
And so
Oh,
after the feedback, I ended up reaching out to two ladies who I know through LinkedIn to create 300,000, a virtual summit for Black women. And this summit was all about giving them some tools, some resources, some direction, guiding them on how to
direction.
navigate, right, this new terrain. Because again, most of them had been in these positions for years, and now they find themselves unemployed. And they don't know how to navigate this.
Mhm.
And so that's what we did. We created the virtual summit. We had one back in October. We just completed another one in November. And it's been absolutely amazing, Free. We talked about everything from, how to reset our nervous system because a lot of those women
Yes.
know, were dealing with a lot of trauma and frustration. We talked about other financial vehicles and other things that they could be doing to set themselves up for success. And we provided them with resources, a lot of complimentary and free resources that they could get, as well as some resources that, were at a minimum cost. So yeah, it was amazing.
And unfortunately, when you're in that situation, when you're the sole breadwinner, you're the one that's covering it all. And now you find I've been fired, I've been furloughed, my company is completely gone under,
Yeah.
everyone's been sent home. We all received our, hey, this is your last paycheck. We can't do it anymore. The doors are closed. What do you say? What do you do? And you don't know, like you said, a lot of those ladies didn't even know that there was assistance available because for many years they've been the sole breadwinner, financially set,
Yes,
stable, everything's fine. We're living the good life. And
absolutely.
now here's the rug. Pull from
Go
under
right
their
from under you. Yep.
feet. Yes, yes. So I want to just tell the audience this so you'll know about the numbers. There was shares, just shares, over 169 and 200 comments. So
Yes.
if it was shared 169 times that you could see, what about all the other individuals who were the ones who received the share, received this information, and now they're going, whoa,
Yeah.
That's me. I just got
Absolutely.
my pink slip. I just was furloughed. My company just folded. What do I do?
Yeah.
And this is anywhere from, listen to the range, guys, nonprofits, no more funding, corporate America, companies that you dreamed of working for,
Yeah.
holding under, can't pay anyone anymore.
Yep.
And just think, Seneca, that's only the first stage. There's more to happen before this year is out.
Oh
So
yeah.
what people do that's not prepared?
Well, I always tell people, especially in fourth quarter, it gets really tricky
Come
because
on, talk
this
about
is
it.
when they really start making a lot of cuts, right? They really start skimming the
Mhm.
fat. There's a lot of these organizations that don't want to pay out those big bonuses, so they
No,
cut those people before they have a chance to do so.
yes.
If you're in the South, like Texas, this is a at will state, so they can cut you for
Mhm.
any and whatever
Come
reason
on.
that they want. And one of the things I always tell people, right?
Yes.
Especially women of color, we've got to learn how to lean into our community.
Come on.
We've got to really learn how to lean in. One of the things I talked about during that virtual summit was, as Black women, we have a lot of connections. We don't have enough
Yes.
capital connections,
Come on.
right? We don't
Gotta
have
have
enough
that
relationships
connection.
with resources. So you need to be in the type of relationships and rooms where resources are flowing. So if
Come
something
on.
happens, you can say,
Yes.
"Hey, Free, I need help with this," or do you have someone you can make a warm introduction for me? Do you know
Mhm.
someone who works at this organization where you can introduce? Right? You've got to have those type of connections. It's
Yeah.
great to brunch and all these other things. We need that all that as well, but we also need to be cultivating the type of relationships where we can access the resources that we need when we fall on hard times like this. Because again, if you're always the go-to person, what happens when the go-to person has no one to go to?
That is such a powerful question.
Yeah, and that was a lot of these women's predicament. They had no
Exactly.
one that they could turn to because they were so busy being the person
Mm.
that everybody else turned to, and that's just not sustainable.
No.
I believe that God is a God of interdependence,
Oh,
right?
yes. Come
That
on, say
we,
this. You
yeah,
got me excited.
interdependent. Exactly. No,
Yeah.
there is no islands. There is no I in team,
Mhm.
right? We have to learn how to cultivate those relationships. We've got to learn how to be in community. We've got to learn how to get rid of this hyper independence that many
Mm-mm.
of us were indoctrinated to, follow. We believe that we got to do it on our own, that, you
Mm.
know, um, we don't
Absolutely.
want to be a burden to anybody. We don't want to feel like we're being too vulnerable or too weak, and I'm like, all of that is just, all of that keeps you stuck.
It does. It really does. It keeps you stuck and it keeps you in a position where you feel like you cannot help anyone. Hey,
Yeah,
Patricia, you definitely want independence is overrated. I
absolutely.
would rather have my tribe any day.
Absolutely.
As you said, I don't want to be the sole resource person. I mean, it's good to have all those connections, but make sure that your tribe is somebody that really is resourceful when you need them.
Hmm.
Because in your time of need, I want to be able to say, hey, I need $1 million right now. Things
Hmm.
are really bad. Or I need you to come and help me because the foundation in my on my property or something is leaning or whatever. What can you do? You need to call someone who has a company that can come and do that.
Absolutely. And that's why, it's funny how when the Bible talked about being equally yoked, people think about that only in terms of like marriage and relationship. But when two ox were yoked together, right? If you had one more powerful than the circles, right? There's no forward
Um,
motion, there's no forward movement. And so you're just going in circles. And that happens too when
that's
you're in the
true.
wrong type of communities, right? You're just going in circles, you're having the same conversations, doing the same things, talking about the same things,
Mhm.
but nobody's moving forward. And so that's why you've got to be intentional about yoking yourself with individuals who are also moving forward.
Mm. And the sad part in that is a lot of times people do not even realize that the familiarity is also, I call it the deadly weapon. It's a
Hmm.
deadly weapon for you because you're stuck with the same people that you're not going anywhere. Y'all all doing the same thing. 10 years have passed and y'all are still repeating the same cycles, when you can be with a new tribe that is innovative, they're moving forward, they're encouraging you from further your education, your experience. Your soft skills are crucially important, not just in the workplace, but even in your communication with your tribe.
Yes.
Yes. So I know that if I need anything in the funding arena, I'm calling the coach, Seneca.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, right, we were going through the great resignation. And that was
Yeah.
so many people of color leaving corporate spaces and
Mhm.
wanting to try their hand at entrepreneurship, right? And so the problem that most of those individuals kept on running into, especially people of color, marginalized and economically disenfranchised communities, was
Say it
access to
again.
capital. There isn't a lack of resources, but there
Not
is
at
a
all.
lack of resourcefulness in our community. We simply don't have. When I tell you, the
Mm,
word of God is so true when it says, "My people perish because of a lack of knowledge."
this is so true.
Yeah,
My God. My
there's a
God.
huge knowledge deficit in our community. It doesn't say we perish because of the devil, right? We perish because we don't know any better. And if you don't know better, it's hard for you to do better, right? And so
Um,
that's why getting that information is so important. And the way you get that
it is.
information is that sometimes you got to get out of those familiar circles, right?
Get out of your comfort zone.
You got to get out of your comfort zone. And people are like, well,
Very much
Seneca,
so.
how do you get comfortable in these spaces that feel so unfamiliar? And I tell them, repetition breeds comfort.
Yes.
Repetition breeds comfort. You got
Mhm.
to do something over and over and over again until you get comfortable with it. And you just got to press through that that uncomfortable
Mhm.
season, because again, that's where growth
Wow.
happens. If you're too comfortable, you're probably not growing, and anything that's not growing is
Yes,
dying.
we'll say that again. I'm
Yeah.
always challenging myself. I'm one of those, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to do something I've never done before.
Yeah.
And many of the things and opportunities that we have had to do, Seneca, is we push past our comfortability. We push past all of the fears, even though we were doing it, like they say, do it, shake it in your boots,
That's right.
shaking
Do
in
it
your
afraid.
boots. Yes, do it totally afraid and step out, because the chance that you take may be the greatest opportunity to change the course of your life, because the shift is happening mid
Absolutely. Whether you like it or
November.
not.
Come on, whether you like it or not, and whether you're ready or not. Can I say that? Ready or not,
Ready or
here
not,
it
here I
is.
come. Right.
Now it ain't even coming. It's here already.
It's here.
There
It's
is a
here.
major financial shift occurring between mid-November, I like you say the fourth quarter, definitely same timelines, in December. It's gonna mess some people completely up. And we are here to tell you there is a way of escape, and there is, I'm not going to say a security blanket for you or a safety net, but there are resources, as you said, and there is ways that you can do. So, Seneca, I'm going to allow you this opportunity. Kind of just share some things that people can be mindful that they are able to do.
Okay. Well, the first thing I would say is, number one, the quickest way to start changing your trajectory is first change your environment.
Come on.
Now, I know that may be hard for a lot of people because they're like, oh, well, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? But I always tell people, listen, you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out.
Yes, you will.
You will figure it out.
Yes, you will.
And
You will
so the first
figure it out.
You will figure it out. So the first thing I always tell people, change your environment. I
Change it.
remember, like I said, I got a scholarship to Tuskegee University when I was 18 years old, right? And so I didn't even apply to any schools in Texas. I wanted to make sure I went as far away from Texas as I possibly could, because the neighborhood that I grew up in, it was the sixth most dangerous neighborhood in America. It's still the number one most dangerous neighborhood in
Wow.
Texas. And so
Yes.
what I saw in my neighborhood, again, you start normalizing things that are not normal, right? You
Mm-mm.
start normalizing that dysfunction. So I saw a lot of things in my community that I knew I didn't want to be a part of. I knew wasn't good. And I knew in order for me to have the life that I always imagined, I had to get out of that environment, right?
Yes.
And so that's
Yes.
the first thing I always tell people: get out, like whatever environment is, you're too comfortable in, too familiar, is holding you back. There is no growth. You don't see yourself growing. Get out of that
Mm-mm.
environment. Second thing
Wow.
is start people who are where you want to be.
Come on.
Not on their way to becoming
Where you
where
want
you
to
want,
be.
right? So if you
Woo.
say, listen, I want to be a millionaire, you need to start hanging out with millionaires. You need to start finding out where millionaires hang out. How
That's right.
what are their daily routines? What are they doing? How can I get into those circles? I always
Mhm.
tell people, listen,
Mm,
you know, when it comes to high net worth individuals, number one, they love to work out. So
definitely.
you need to find
Fitness is
yourself.
important.
Fitness is very important to them. So guess what? You need to start going to high-end gyms,
That's right.
right?
It's
And
worth the
then
investment.
it's worth the investment. And you don't want to go during normal hours when everybody else is going.
Mm,
Those type of individuals, they usually work out really early in the morning because guess what? They're business owners, they're
mhm.
CEOs, they're founders, right? They're very important
That's
people.
it.
They got a lot on their plate. They get up early, they get their workout early in the morning, and then they're gone before the rest of the world wakes up
True.
because now they're off to the races. They're getting their day started. So I would tell people, get yourself a high-end gym membership
Right.
and go early in the morning,
Early.
right? I
Early
used
in the
to do it
morning.
8 a.m.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Next
6
thing,
o'clock is not going to do it, guys,
right?
before 6
That's
a.m.
right. Exactly.
Mhm.
Before 6 a.m. Another thing is a lot of these people, they're not in clubs, they go to
No,
happy hour. And not only
that's
do
it.
they go to happy hour, they go to high-end happy hours, like in a very affluent community, a very affluent hotel, right? Those
Yes.
are the happy hours they're going to. They're usually, they're between like 4 and 7 because guess what?
Mhm.
Exactly, Mindy. Early bird gets the worm.
Mhm.
And this
That
is the
is
thing.
so true.
These
And great
these
deals go down too, like that.
exactly. And that's where the deals go down because these are
Mhm.
people who are generally married. And so guess what? They want to get home and have dinner with their family by
Yes.
8:30, 8 o'clock. So they out of there by 7 o'clock. So
Right.
so when the shifts start changing, when 9, 10 p.m., baby, they been at home. They in bed, right? So that's you if you're trying to meet the heavy hitters after 8 p.m., they not there.
Come on.
You got to go find them between 4 and 7 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing,
Love it.
if you travel like me, you should have a
Mhm.
sky membership,
That's it.
Delta Sky Lounge or something like that, right? You
This is
find
true.
you ever notice like the high-end individuals, they not waiting out there with everybody
Mm-mm.
else.
Mm-mm.
They
Not
come
at
out
all.
and then they don't come out until
Mm.
when it's time to
They
board.
know. They know.
Things like that. So again, you have to watch how these people move and what
Right.
they do, and you've got to mimic that, and you've got to find yourself in those type of places. And maybe it takes a little bit of an investment. It's worth it.
It's definitely
I'm
worth
not a
it. It's
smoker, but
definitely worth
every once in a while I go
it.
to cigar bars because again, I find many of
Mhm.
my clients there.
Mhm.
Okay, because that's something they do. They
Yes.
go golfing, they're playing pickleball. You know what I'm saying? So you
All
just
the
have to
things that you should do or get
exactly.
acquainted with.
You
Familiarity.
got to get familiar with. And again,
Yeah.
and that might be totally outside of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
Good, good.
Definitely.
Okay,
Because
that means you're
the
probably on the
smoking
right
is
track.
tough, but yeah, you can
Yeah,
manage because
yeah,
you might close your biggest deal there. You might
absolutely.
close your biggest deal
Oh, I'll tell people
right
the best
there.
deals are made over meals.
And a
Absolutely.
drink. And a drink. Unfortunately for those who don't drink. But you can still be there and have water.
Right.
Close that deal. Close
Exactly.
that deal. I love it. Was Seneca the encouragement that came from the virtual summit? Can you
Yes.
tell me what was that the outcome? What was the feedback that you personally received from some of the ladies who said, "Oh, I can breathe again."
Yeah, we got so much great feedback. The greatest feedback that I can remember is so many women kept saying, "Wow, I feel seen. I feel
Yes.
heard. I feel like
Yes.
somebody understands me. I feel validated." Because a lot of times, a lot of these women, they were let go with no rhyme or reason, right?
Mm.
And so now they're feeling some kind of way like, what did I do wrong? Or, was I not meeting my performance metrics? So
Mhm.
what was the case? But I had so many women to reach out to me and say, Seneca, thank you for this information. We feel
Mhm.
seen, we feel heard. This is something where we can get some quick wins, right?
Yes.
We can start implementing right away. Because again, I don't want it to just be feel good information. I want it to
Mhm.
be practical information that they can start
Practical.
employing now, right? So I
Yes.
was step by step, like this is what you want to do, and this is how you do
Mhm.
that.
And
So
the
when I,
collaborations that came from that.
oh
Mm,
yeah, oh yeah,
wow.
listen, this is one thing I've learned about high net worth individuals is that it at this level, that top 1%, it's all about collaboration. It's all about
Mhm.
leverage. It's all about social capital. It's all about intellectual capital. At the
Yeah.
bottom, it's about competition. Because see, at this
Mhm.
level down here, there's a scarcity
Wow.
mindset, and people think, "Oh,
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I can't give you this information. I can't give you the one up because then you're gonna have something on me." And they feel like, "Oh, this is the pie, and if I give you information, then you take half that pie." Well, no, 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 no. The
Not at
up
all.
here, they believe everybody can have their own pie.
Everyone. And they want to share the information.
And
Can you
they
repeat
want to
that
share.
aspect of sharing information? Because no one is in a competition.
No, it's
There's
not a
no room for
competition.
jealousy.
Listen, because at that level, everybody wins. It's a symbiotic
Everyone wins.
relationship. They understand that, hey, if I help
Right.
you to win, I'm going to win too. So
I'm a
now
win
I'm
too.
incentivized to help you win because I know that
Yes.
there's a reward on the other side for me too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
And you want to make someone look good.
Absolutely.
That's a mentality, I think, of the success of those individuals. You can tell the success by how they process information.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, the comfortability of most six figures, seven, et cetera. When this happened, what was some of the stories? What was the back stories of where they were in terms of, I may have this in a bank account, but I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to make myself marketable again.
Um, that's a lot of people's story, especially the women. It's like,
Hmm.
because again, when you've been in a certain lane all your life, let's just say if you've been kind of this corporate woman,
Hmm.
but maybe nobody has told you how to manage your money. Nobody has told you about, putting your assets in a trust.
That's
Nobody has told you how to build other cash flowing assets. Nobody has told you how to diversify your income. Nobody has told you, right? Um, and
right.
so you just kind of stay in your lane of what you're comfortable with until somebody introduces something new uh into that world for you.
Into
And
that
so
world, right?
yeah, yeah, and again, you only learn this information inside these different groups. When I really started to take things serious when it came to like life insurance and things like that, it was because when I was around these high net worth individuals, I was learning that they weren't just planning for the next 5-10 years.
Come
Free,
on.
I was in sessions where they were doing estate planning for the next 300 years,
That's right. That's right.
not the
Hmm.
next 100 years,
And not for the rainy day.
not for just a rainy day. They were literally doing estate planning for 300 years.
Yes. Everything. That's correct. And he said
Yeah.
for everything.
And I
That's right.
mean,
The
most of us
children,
can't we
grandchildren, the legacy.
the legacy. Most of us can't do estate planning for 5
Mhm.
years, for 30 years, let alone 300 years. And so they weren't just thinking about themselves, they were thinking about their
Mm.
children's
Wow.
children, their children's children, children's children, right? So they were building out wealth for
Yes.
generations.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
think about that. Your
Major preparation.
yeah, your great great
Mm.
grandchild is walking into,
Generation wealth.
wealth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Generation
Wow.
after generation after generation. Absolutely. They're
Yeah.
walking
That is,
into wealth
yeah.
because somebody thought about them before they even entered the world.
That's
And
right.
think about that. Think about if we all had that
Mm.
type of mindset where, you know, We came into this world looking forward to something. And most of us, we didn't have that, right? Most,
Mhm.
especially
Um,
if you came from a marginalized community,
yeah, you
you
didn't
most
realize.
of the time you walked into debt and trauma. You didn't have a trust fund waiting for you.
Mhm.
You didn't have assets waiting for you. and
Um,
uh and we got to change that narrative. We
we
really
have to
have to change
change the
that narrative.
narrative. But even it's about a mindset because there are individuals who, like I got mine now, I'm making this amount of money, but how are you receiving this money? You're
Yeah,
waiting every 2 weeks to get your paycheck, or you're waiting once a month to get your paycheck, and you are in a fixed state where your dependability is on those dates that someone else is in control of. How do we
absolutely.
change that narrative?
You know what? I remember a young lady who I went to grad school with, Christy Muhammad, and I've attended two of her global power tours, right? And I've
Mhm.
attended several of her
Yeah.
events. But she was the first person that I realized, like, you didn't have to wait to get
Mhm.
paid. Like, you didn't have to
No.
wait on a check that came every week or every 2 weeks or once a month. She was just like, I get paid every day. And that blew my mind because I was like, because again, before I was a entrepreneur, I worked in corporate. I worked in tech for 10 years. And of course, I was used to
Mhm.
get paid every 2 weeks. I couldn't even wrap my head
Good.
around the thought of I could get paid every day. And so
Mhm.
when I became an entrepreneur and I started following a lot of what she was doing and kind of implementing that in my own business, and then I realized, like, oh, I can get paid every day, right? And so, like you said, Free, it's a total mindset shift.
It is a mind
It's
shift.
a mindset shift. And because I saw her doing it and I was implementing the same strategies that she
Mhm.
was using, and then I remember I had a week where I got every ding, 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 ding. I'm seeing that little bell go off and money hit my account, and I was like, oh my God,
Yes, that
I didn't
feels
even
good.
realize it feels good. It's a real thing. Like, oh, I
Yes,
don't have to
ma'am.
wait for somebody to pay me, right? I can actually create my own, products and services. It's
Mhm.
it's a total mindset shift. And again, you got to get
Yeah.
around people who are already doing that.
And they'll teach you. Can we keep
Yeah,
going back to Seneca will never be able to stop telling you there are so many people that would love to teach you the game. They would love to just bring you right on in and show
yeah,
you how this is because there are people who really care about others winning. And it's amazing, like you said, it has to be a total mind altering epiphany
yeah,
that you make that pivot and you
yeah,
say, hey, I'm gonna win this year for real, and I'm gonna
absolutely.
see that it's working for someone else. And you don't have to be loud and let everybody know, but you still can help those that are really serious about the change for the better of their life, and
Absolutely.
you
And
can
like you said,
tell. Mhm.
yeah. And like you said, people are out there who want to help, right?
They want
Who
to help.
who are just waiting for an opportunity
That's
to
it.
be a resource to you. I remember there was a gentleman who I invited to my Access Granted conference, and of course you were there, Free, in Dallas.
Yes,
Um,
I love
and
it.
right. And I remember reaching out to him via LinkedIn, and having a Zoom meeting with him and pitching my conference and letting him know that I wanted him to come out. And he did, and I
Amazing.
remember, and you remember, Free, I mean, he gave $100,000 worth of game
Yes,
from stage. I mean,
yes.
it was a master class after the master class, right? And I was looking at the audience like, do y'all realize what y'all just got?
Wisdom. Just
Right?
wisdom.
Again, this is someone who's been filthy rich for a very long time, and now he just wants to give back. He's like,
That's
ain't
it.
really much you can give me in terms of compensation because I got enough money. But he was just looking for an opportunity to be a
To
blessing, right?
share.
To share and to pour into somebody else, because guess what? He understands that when he's not here any longer, he can't take that knowledge with him.
Can you say that again? Why
He
do
can't take
people
that.
hold on to
Exactly. He
mm,
can't take them resources and he can't take that
nothing?
knowledge with him. So why not invest it
Why
into
not?
someone else? And my question to most people is like,
Love
are
it.
you investable? Are you
Come
worthy of
on.
someone investing in you? Are you the type of person that you're not just going to sit on that knowledge and hoard that knowledge, right? But that you're going to take it, multiply it, and be a blessing to somebody else who needs that information as well?
True. True. And you do have to be careful with that. I like that you said, are you investing? Are you someone worth investing in? And I think
Yeah.
everyone's worthy of it, but I know where you're going with it. So let me explain. Well, nobody thinks Seneca said some people are not worthy. And
Right.
that's
Yeah. No,
not
that
it.
ain't
Because
so.
we
That ain't
know
what we
we play,
saying.
oh my God, people get that's a whole nother talk show right there. But a topic for another talk show. But on the real, what you're saying is, are you someone? Because I see people, and I see what they can really become. Investable. You're right, Mindy. But my thing is, I see where they can grow and be, and it's like, hey, I'm trying to introduce you to something. Come on over here. I want to help you, and they just mess it up, and you're like, oh my God. I think my sister said it. She said it's so unfortunate, and this was just a general statement. She said it's so unfortunate that people will miss, and they will miss the one that have the answers and go to someone who's working right alongside of them with the same problems.
Well, that's the thing. And that's the thing. We do that a lot because again,
Yes.
our sometimes we're loyal to a fault because we're like, oh, well, this person has been my friend for years and we went
Mm-mm.
to elementary school together and we went to college together and we did. And again, nothing wrong with that, right? A reason, a season, a lifetime. You just got to know what role they're playing in your life at this very moment.
Exactly.
But again, if they've
Wow.
never done it before, they can't help you.
They cannot. If we're both struggling and we both need gas in our car, and we don't know where we're going to get it from, that means that one of us needs to make a decision to change the mindset and get something different, because we can't keep living paycheck to paycheck. We can't keep
Absolutely.
just being, I call it that circle effect. We're just standing in the same circle. Get out of that box.
Yeah. I
Break
just
out
remember
the
like,
box.
yeah, I remember Michelle Obama
Mm,
was doing an interview and she was just saying how when Barack Obama won the presidency, and she
mm.
said, listen, there were a lot of people that we had to leave behind, not because we
Yeah.
wanted to, but because they were not prepared for the climb. They were
Mm-mm.
not prepared for the journey.
Right.
And so she said, us trying to hold on to those individuals was, it became a burden because it was holding
Mhm.
us back. So we realized what we had to sever ties and move on. And she said, well, luckily, we were able to circle back with some of those people and see, like, hey, are you ready now?
You
Are
ready
you ready to come
now?
with us now? But some of them, she was just like, we just had to leave behind. And
Mhm.
a lot of times, especially in communities of color, we have, you know how like you have buyer's remorse.
Mhm.
We almost
Mhm.
have like success remorse, right? That
Yes.
we get to a certain
Wow.
level, we get ourselves out of poverty, we get ourselves into a comfortable place where we're doing well in life, and now we feel a little bit of remorse because we know we've left so many people behind, and not because we wanted to, because
Mm-mm.
everybody ain't ready for the journey. Everybody ain't ready for the journey, and you're going to do more harm trying to drag them
Oh
along.
my God, I was about to say, Seneca, share that part of it.
Oh
How
yeah,
that
you're gonna
can
do.
be so devastating when
Oh
your mind
yeah.
is on, let me get it. I got this. We can do this. Here's the big picture, and they can't see it, but you're still trying to hold on. That's dragging you down. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit more on why it's crucially important about that tribe is all on that same pathway?
Well, yeah, you got to have people on the. Let me tell you, like, for those who are mountain climbers, like if you've ever climbed like a Mount Everest, right? We know that that's the tallest mountain in the
Come on,
world.
in
And
the
let me
world.
tell you, more people climb, they die on the way down versus on the way up.
That's true.
More
That is
people
so
die on the way down than on the
true.
way up, right? Because
Mm,
they start getting careless and simple mistakes and things like that. And so again, most climbers who climb Mount Everest have almost a 0% success rate without a Sherpa. A Sherpa is an expert mountain
mm,
climber, right? So you have individuals who are Sherpas who have done this climb multiple times, right? They are experts. They know how to do this. Their bodies are acclimated to that type of
mm.
terrain and
Yeah.
environment. Yeah, so they can help you get there. And again, that's why you've got to partner with people who are acclimated to
Definitely.
the climb, because
Definitely.
guess what will happen? You'll start getting around the wrong people, and then they start getting altitude sickness, right? Because
Mhm.
they don't know how to survive at that level.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate. And also getting yourself more familiar with what you're striving for, like the education, the training, the coaching, having a mentor. Elaborate on why is it important for us to have business mentors?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. You
Mhm.
know, if let's say I'm trying to start a business, I want to partner with someone who is not only running a business, but running one successfully.
Successful.
Exactly. Robert Smith, black billionaire. And he was saying, listen, sometimes the social and the intellectual capital will take
Mhm.
you further than the financial capital. And what he was saying was, listen, why would you spin your wheels trying to figure out something that I've done 40 times already? Why wouldn't you just partner with the person who's done it 40 times already? They've already worked out the kinks. They know where the downfalls are and things like that. So they can help you get there much quicker, right? Much faster. So,
Mm.
people always say, well, experience is the best teacher. That's
Mm.
true in many cases, but not always. I don't have to, I don't have to fall down Mount Everest to understand that I need a Sherpa, right? Certain things like
Mm.
you can learn. Wisdom is learning from somebody else's experience.
That's true.
That
And
you
again, going back to those who want to help you, there are
Yeah.
people who say, "Oh, Seneca, that's what you need." I would kind of reiterate briefly for those who missed the last show that she was sharing with her experience when she started Access Granted. We just thought this was it and everything was lining up,
Yeah.
but it
I,
didn't go that way.
no. I remember I was going to do my first Access Granted conference in Memphis,
Mhm.
Tennessee, because
Yes.
I thought, oh, okay, well, instead of doing the smaller emerging cities, right?
Mhm.
Because I figured they probably need more of the resources and more of that information. And so I get to Memphis. I'm on the ground for weeks, right? Promoting the
Definitely.
conference. I was on ABC. I had a friend, Marshall,
Mhm.
who was one of the executive directors for ABC. So I was able to get yeah, I love Marshall. I
We
was
do.
able I was able to get a segment on there and they ran that
Yes.
over and over.
Mhm.
I was speaking at churches. I was published in the local magazine. I was published in the local newspaper. I mean, I thought this was going to
Everything,
be slam
guys.
free. I had
Everything.
videos running and I had the best hotel in the city, the guest house at Graceland. And I just knew it was going to be a slam dunk. And guess what?
Mm.
I could not move those tickets. And I realized I thought I was
Wow.
doing something wrong.
I remember.
Right. I had a stellar lineup of
Mhm.
investors. And I mean, I just knew this was going to be a slam dunk. But I realized that the people weren't ready for the information.
Wouldn't. And you can't force people. I
And you can't
learned that
force people. Right.
the
They weren't
hard
ready
way.
for the information. Yeah. So it wasn't that the information was bad or that it was bad. It just
Mm-mm,
people weren't
not at
ready
all.
for it. So I was just in the wrong environment because, and I
Exactly.
lost a lot of money. So I didn't
This
get
is
any
so
of my
true.
money back from the hotel or anything like that. I
Mm-mm,
lost a lot of
nothing,
money.
no refund.
Right. And so I remember God telling me, after I'm on the floor crying and Lord, why this happened? And I thought you told me to come to
Wow.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes.
And he told me, okay, now that you stop all that crying and get up and go
Back
to
it up.
go to Charlotte, North Carolina. And guess what? When I went to Charlotte, the floodgates just opened up. I got my first investment.
Goshaland.
Right. I got my first investment from JP Morgan Chase Bank. They sponsored the event. Then I got another,
Yes.
five-figure investment from an angel investor that I met on LinkedIn. I had another investor invested. Like the
Mhm.
floodgates just
The
opened.
floodgate.
Right. And,
Goshaland.
and again, because I was in the
It was
right place, I
beautiful
was in the right
in the right
environment.
place.
Exactly. And sometimes, for a lot of
Mhm.
people, you might be planning, right? And where you're planting is just not fertile soil.
It's just not. It's
It's
just not.
nothing wrong with the seed. You got a good
Mm-mm.
seed. You just planting it in the wrong soil. And so
Mention
that's what
go
was happening.
Exactly. But go back to the people are not ready for information, or people are
Yeah.
not ready. They're comfortable in the stagnation because it's become so common and they know how to navigate through that. I know how far I'm gonna go. I'm expecting that every 2 weeks I'm gonna get that check. Every 2 weeks, that's when I can do this or that. I plan my life around that. But when you get information that you can be free and you can have this information and you can utilize this information and see a quick return on some things.
Yeah.
How do we get to that place?
There were two things that set me free
Come
over the
on.
last couple of
Hallelujah.
years. I
Mm,
remember a couple of years ago, I was talking to a gentleman and he said, Seneca, he who is willing is he who will. He who
yes,
is willing is he who will. And so what
this
I
is
took from
so
that is
true.
like, yeah, you listen, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
So many disappointments with that.
Exactly. And another friend said, you listen, you don't even have to make them drink. Sometimes you can't even make them thirsty.
You can't even.
And-
Come on, don't
yeah.
make me
and-
cry.
Okay. And then another,
People getting ready to get everything they desire, but then
right.
they can't see the
And
blessing in front of you.
exactly. And then there was another
Don't get
quote,
it.
Jim
God
Rohns.
help us.
I never forget when I heard him say
Mm,
this, and this really set me free. He
come
said,
on.
in business, learn to work with the people who deserve it, not the people who need it.
Ah,
And
that set me free too.
oh,
That
yeah,
set me
because
free.
see, I was so
That's
busy
right.
trying to work with the people who needed the information. But guess
Thank
what? They didn't
you. Wow.
necessarily deserve it because
They
they
did.
weren't willing to put skin in the game, right? They weren't willing to make the investment in
Mhm.
themselves. And so I was wasting my time because
And
again,
that's
I was leading them
unfortunate
to the water, but they weren't thirsty,
when thirsty.
right? And so John
Ooh.
Assaraf, another gentleman that I like to follow, he said, if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. When you're
Mm.
committed, you'll do what it takes.
And whatever, well,
And
integrity,
whatever that takes.
right?
Yeah. And again,
Yeah, yeah.
we want
Because
to
we
make
don't
sure that
want
it's
you to think we
legal.
do anything. Because you
No.
don't even have to. You don't have to even work hard. You
Yeah.
work smarter in
Yeah.
collaboration, the right connections. They're going to help navigate you through it.
Absolutely. Because I one of the things I've learned is
Mm,
that over these years doing this business, I haven't had to work harder.
mm-mm,
You would think I had, right? I haven't had to work harder.
not at
I've
all.
leveraged, right? I've worked smarter. I've leveraged my community. I've been in the right
Yes,
rooms. I've been cultivating the right resources. I've been putting myself in places where I can access the right, you know, people and all of that. And so it all that whole hustle and grind and getting it out of the mud.
mm,
I don't want to get it out of the mud. I want to get it out of the market.
that's true. That
Yeah.
is, oh my God. I can't, all I can say is, wow,
Yeah. And so that's
wow.
the thing. Yeah, that set me free because again, I for a long time, and see, this is the thing. Because of the community that I came out of, right? I came out of a very marginalized and economically disenfranchised
Mhm.
community. So I had a burden for those individuals, right? I felt a sense of responsibility to go back and get those
Mhm.
individuals. But what I realized is that if a person is not ready, you can talk until you blue in the face. You can give them all the information, provide them
Mhm.
all the resources. You can,
Unfortunate.
but if they're not ready, you wasting your time. Those are the type of people you pray for them. You ask God, the Holy Spirit, to reveal whatever needs to be revealed.
Mhm.
And in due
In this
time,
time.
yeah.
Mhm.
But, and you keep on moving forward and working with the people. I never forget, I was talking to one of my spiritual mentors, just like you, Free.
Mhm.
And she said, Seneca, she said, shake the dust off your feet.
And pack it up.
Because again, listen, when Jesus was like, hey, y'all go into these towns,
Mhm.
preach the word of God. And if these people don't receive it, leave that town, shake the
That's
dust
it.
off your feet, and move to the next town. Now, if
And
Jesus said that,
come on. He already know. He
he
already
already
know.
knew.
He
Yeah.
already knows. I mean,
Yeah. And it sounds very crass and it sounds very,
well, it sounds
mean
true,
spirit,
yes, but
but
it's not.
but it's not. It's not.
He's helping you not waste your time because he got Goshen land in the next city, like you
Listen,
had to go. We
that's
were
right.
in, look, what was it?
Low the bar.
Exactly.
I was in low the bar.
You went
And
to
then when I got
North
to Charlotte, I got to
Carolina.
Goshen. Yeah.
That was Goshen land. And it's
Yeah.
been Goshen land ever since,
Yeah.
because the tribe grows with those who know who they are and who they belong to, and they also know how to help you. It's a Seneca thing. It's a, hey, I'm here for you. What do you need? I have this, and you'll be amazed. I'm like, wow. And I can say this, guys. What's funny to me, and Seneca attest, she can contest, can attest to what I'm about to say. Some of the people who have the most greatest wealth, and like you said, don't need to get paid to come out and tell someone else how to get where they are or to get up that ladder. And I'm telling you, they are some of the most down to earth individuals.
David, listen,
So real.
you could have
Oh,
never told me that as a 45-year-old Black woman, small business owner, entrepreneur, right? You could have never told me 10 years ago
wow.
that some of my best friends would be white men over the age of 60.
Come on. With great wisdom,
You could,
intellectually able to have a conversation with them and leave going, woo. Because you
yeah,
know my thing. My thing is I love when you know how to use this. I just, it's
absolutely.
just something about intellectual people. I just, because
That's the
I'm gonna
thing.
learn something. I'm
Yeah,
gonna learn
you could have
something
never
from
told me
you.
that. I have some great connections.
Whew,
And like I said, my mentor, 67-year-old
love it.
white man, we meet
Thank
every
the
Monday
Lord.
to talk finances, right? You could have never told me, in
Mm,
February I'd be flying out to one of my mentors' house, you
come
know,
on.
living in a multi-million dollar estate in California,
Come
having dinner with him and having tea with him and sitting in front of the fireplace. You could have never coming out of Sunnyside where I would
on.
have never
Come
imagined that.
on. Just a whole different world.
A whole different
Makes me
world.
want to sing that song. It's a whole new world. It's a whole
Right.
new world.
And I love this new world, right?
And,
I
and
love
it's
it.
beautiful.
And I
And,
want to
and
make
like you
sure.
said, you're not getting up in the morning and being like, oh, I gotta go to this meeting. I gotta go this here. We repeating the same thing. But look at what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're able to bless other people with the wisdom, and you're not trying to hold. Nobody's trying to hold back. We're not trying to be gatekeepers.
No,
Mm-mm,
because I
mm-mm.
learned this
Doing
information
that.
that they
I
teach me and
want
I
you to
bring it
know.
back to the community. Exactly.
Yes.
I
I want
learned
the
from them and I
community to
bring it right to the
prosper. I
community.
want to bring what they're doing in other states that I've seen in
Uh-huh.
other educational settings. They're progressive. I want to show people that we can do it too. We can get out of antiquated and we can get into innovative.
That's right.
Just that simple.
It's that simple. Yeah. And so, and
It's just
again,
that simple.
yeah. The information is out there. The wealth. And again, I always tell people, I expect good things to happen. I expect
Yes.
for
Come
people to
on.
show up for me. I expect, right, these resources because again, God says, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Prosperity is a beautiful thing. He says, I delight in the prosperity of my servant, and I
And
am
I'm
his servant, right?
grateful to the King of Glory.
That's what I'm
Grateful to what
saying.
he did.
Yeah. And if you know,
My
if you're a
God.
child of the king, then that means everything inside the kingdom I'm entitled to. So why
Wow.
would God not want me to be, in these rooms and getting this information
Yes.
and have
Yes.
access to these resources? Because again, the more I have, the better witness I can be for the kingdom.
That's exactly what it's all about. It's not about my bling bling, my shine. None of those things is
Mm-mm.
what he's doing. He wants to show off his kingdom citizens
That's
with
right.
what he promised. Because his
That's right.
promises are yes and amen.
Amen. Yeah.
My life, I was telling him at 57, I wouldn't have never imagined traveling as much and the connections. Oh my God. Nobody's boasting and bragging. I'm saying to God be the glory that
Yeah.
he's afforded me these opportunities. My God.
Absolutely.
It,
Absolutely.
it's amazing when you can pick up the phone of people who have your answer, your solution, and
Yeah.
not picking up the phone and have to listen to somebody saying, oh, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I want to hear, hey, how you doing? What's on? What can we do today?
Yeah.
Oh, they got the access granted in February in 2026. You know, it's gonna be in da 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 da, because I can't remember where she told me we were going. I'm just ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you
Exactly.
have to. Or hey, I need to get you in Orlando in July before that conference or for this event. Come on, you want to be with people that's motivating you and igniting you to go forward and do what needs to be done
Absolutely.
for the betterment, just not for you, but for the community.
That's right. That's right.
It's not about you on the island by yourself.
Nope.
And so, Seneca, always, I love when you come on the show. I love when you're sharing this valuable information
Yes.
so we can change the dynamics,
Yes. Yes.
change your everything, pivot,
That's right.
multiple streams of income, or you can have some things that you have just thought, oh, it's just a thought in my head.
Yeah.
No, get with the funding coach.
That's right.
Seneca Dunmore. You can find on all major platforms. Look, I'm saying it for. I usually say, Seneca, how can we find you?
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. Because I always tell people I'm easy to find. Right. Look for the blonde locks. Right. And Seneca Dunmore. Right. I'm all of my social media
Yes.
is public. And yeah. So I'm
Mm.
easy to find. I'm on LinkedIn
Oh,
and TikTok and Instagram and most social media
follow her,
platforms. Yeah.
follow her,
Yeah.
follow her, follow her. You know, when I find something good and I'm learning from it, and I'm prospering. And people think prosperity is just a financial thing. Prosperity is a peace of mind. Prosperity is a calmness about
That's
you. And
right.
actually, you begin to increase your wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom is increased in you to know what to do, how to do, who to contact, who's there for you. So, Seneca, I love that you're transparent. I love that you share that, hey, you too can do the same thing. This is not, we're not gatekeeping anything. We
Yeah.
want you
No.
to know. We want you to know. And please say this because somebody misunderstand this, that you're
Uh-huh.
saying that it's not just Caucasian men.
No.
It is some black
No.
men because one of
Oh.
several of our good friends are in a very wonderful financial state and can
Oh,
afford and do
absolutely.
so
I mean,
many
it's not exactly. It's not
wisdom.
just wealth
There
is
was
not just
mhm,
reserved for
it's
any one demographic, right?
not at all
As you know, Adonis has been one of my greatest investors and supporters.
a great mentor.
Right? Andre Notice and
Yes,
Dr. Shantae, and I've had
right.
some amazing
Antonio Buchanan, we're gonna
Antonio
shout out to him. We
Buchanan.
appreciate
Oh,
you guys
listen,
joining us.
Antonio
Yes,
is listen, it ain't nothing he can't ask me
love.
for.
Oh my God, these are
I
people who are real friends, not the casuals.
these are people who got my back, who are real friends, who invest
Mhm.
in me. And
Love
yeah,
it.
yeah, these
Thank
are, I
you.
mean, I've had some
Thank you,
amazing
Lord.
people. Yeah. And I just believe it's because, I try to be a person of my word. I try to
That's right.
like the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them to do unto
Come
you.
on.
I
And the seeds we sow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I try to plant as many good seeds so that
Woo.
guess what? I want, I want a harvest. I want a good harvest.
Yes. Come on. The
And I want
harvest is
everybody
coming.
around me to have a good harvest.
But
Yes.
listen up, guys. And I thank you for that. And that's so true. And we do want you to have it. That's why we're doing this show a second time. And she went into more detail with you guys because listen, in the fourth quarter, as she say, that's the financial lingo. I'm going to tell you guys from the prophetic side and from what I understand. It's happening now. I've been saying this for so long to people. You need to be prepared. You
Yeah.
need to be prepared because so many people are so comfortable in their comfort zones of thinking, "Oh, I'm the CEO, I'm the VP, I'm the this, I'm the that." All of those titles are wonderful. But what if that financial check that you get that you wait for every 2 weeks
Yeah.
is gone? What do you do? Because
Yeah.
it's happening. She just shared with you 3,000 Black females were furloughed, laid off, fired, whatever
Right.
companies are closing.
300,000.
Not 300,000. See, I was wrong. I said 3,000, 300,000, and it's happening more. Their companies not even telling. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I got to tell y'all this because we're around people that are really doing business with companies. There's some companies about to shut down.
Yeah.
Y'all see me? So don't
Hmm.
get too comfortable. Well, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are
This
you
is
gonna
the
do?
time to really lean into your community.
Community, community, community. Just
Yeah.
make sure that you're in the right tribe that's gonna help you.
Yeah.
So
And really
I'm
start
concerned
honing in
for some
on your
people.
skills. Yeah. Honing
Yes,
in your skills and learning new skills.
and learning some new skills. Always self-improvement. It should
That's
always be self-improvement. But Seneca, when we wrap this thing up, please, I want you to share with them some of the resources you know and just how they can contact you to even schedule an appointment with her. You can
yeah.
schedule consultations. Always work.
Oh yeah, I would tell people that the quickest way to find me is on LinkedIn. And this is the thing, because when I make warm introductions, I usually do it through LinkedIn, right? So when people are asking me about investors and things like that, that's the first place those investors are going to look for you, right? So if you are a business professional, if you're an entrepreneur, you should have a LinkedIn, okay? But yeah, reach out to me there or any of my social media platforms. I do have my insider access program on school, and that's kind of where I really do the deep diving, right? Where I share
Yes.
to you all the different tips and tricks about, how to create more cash flow in your business, how to, protect your assets, how to, all those different things. What type of vehicles are best for you in terms of funding, which are most appropriate for your business. And again, I've learned that the top 1% knows something that most of us don't know.
Yeah.
And not knowing
This
that
is true.
information is costing you money you don't have and time you can't afford to lose.
Mm, this
Like
is so true.
with people,
But
right?
they're
Because
willing to get there. Just get in the room.
you got to get in the room. I
Get
don't know
in
how
the
else to say it when people are like, all that trying to figure it out on your own, it's a waste of
room.
time.
You have to.
You got to get in the room. You got to get in the room. And that's why I'm writing my book, right? Invited or Invested, the Outsider's Playbook to Gaining Insider Access. Because
I will
again,
purchase it.
yeah,
Definitely.
what I found over these last couple of years is that, high net worth individuals, they only share certain information in closed door invitation only spaces. And so if you're not in those rooms, you don't know the information because it's not in the book. Trust me,
It's
right? I
not
didn't
in the
read
book.
all the books, right? I've got an
Yes,
extensive
we're avid
library.
readers. It's
Yeah,
not in those
it's
books.
not in the
Trust
books
me.
because again, if it's not in the books.
It's
They
not.
only share it as tribal knowledge. They only share it within the tribe.
And we're willing to tell you because at one time we were like many, we were outside the room.
Oh yeah.
And now that we've had the experience and being in the rooms, I'm telling you, it's a different mindset of how you conduct yourself in business. And Seneca, I just love your spirit. I love the way that you're so willing to share. And I'm telling you, when you talked about liberation, I, I am so glad to be free. That's, I mean, no pun
Amen.
intended. No pun intended.
I know. I'm like, oh, look at free dropping bars.
Be free and liberated to know that you're not just stuck, people.
No,
You're not.
you're not
You're
stuck.
not stuck. There's
Yeah.
ways out. And I'm so glad that a lot of those ladies were freed. And, it just, anybody knows my stomach just turns when something is confusing. You don't have to be like that. You can
No,
live with liberty and peace and be grateful.
absolutely. And most people, you're just one connection away. You're one connection away from that transformation. You're one connection away from, those resources. You're one connection away.
It just one. And I would recommend that you contact Seneca Dunmore.
Yes.
And not because she's my heart, but because she has the knowledge. I have no shame. She helped free me. She helped liberate me and to
Thank
know what's best. So listen, the Lord our God does not just give you information for nothing. This
No.
is intentional. This was purposeful for you. If you're listening, if you watch from the beginning, or you got to go back and get all the wealth of information that she shared with you, all I would strongly recommend to everyone here now is that you contact Seneca Dunmore, because
Yes.
some of you unfortunately may or may not know that things are shifting quickly in the next couple of
Yeah.
just say before 2026, there's going to be some lot of shifting, a lot of changing,
Yeah.
and you need to know what to do.
Yeah. You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's right. Stay ready so you won't have to get ready. That's awesome. That is so true. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. Seneca, thank you always for giving the
My
words of wisdom. I'm
pleasure.
just so excited that I have the pleasure of knowing you on a personal level, but also on a business level, and know that you are giving us wealth of knowledge. And
Absolutely.
when you come back again, I definitely want you to explain, why is it important to have a business coach and
Oh yeah.
mentor?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Why?
every multimillionaire and billionaire that I meet, and that are in my network, they all have coaches and mentors.
But one is out here just doing it by themselves and
Yep.
just guessing what's my next move.
Exactly. You would think like, oh, what does this billionaire need advice about? What does he need to know? They all got coaches and
All
mentors.
have coaches and mentors if
Yep.
needed.
Yep.
Okay, this is Simply Free Talk. I thank you for tuning in. I hope that you know that I know that you know this information is valuable to you, because it's life changing. I'm a witness. Seneca's another witness that it will change your life. It will change your mindset, and it will cause you to desire to get in the rooms, in the right rooms, that is.
That's right.
Don't waste your time. I've done that as well. And I'm sure Seneca can tell you some of her testimonies of being in the wrong place as
Oh
well and
yeah.
not really getting what she needed. But on this Thursday, I just want you to know, Thursday, tune back in, Simply Free. I have Christina with a K going to be on the show. And she's a gospel rapper that has a new twist on telling you biblical Bible stories.
Very nice.
I have to laugh because Christina's so comical in it, but it makes you learn the Bible. So tune in this Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be blessed. Thank you, Seneca. Appreciate always your time
Welcome.
and your
Thank you.
wisdom. God bless everyone.